What's up, music fans of the internet? I'm Kevin,
I'm Derek.
and together we are last week's album where we're talking about good music. And before we kick things off, we'll start like we always do. Drinking a beer. Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
Kevin. Cheers, everyone at home.
And this week we have a special treat. We're not reviewing an album. We're reviewing ACL, Austin City Limits Music Festival, that just happened here this past weekend, 2014. So let's give you a little background on ACL if you're not familiar with it. It's an annual music festival started in 2002, recently expanded from one weekend to two in 2012. It's produced by Austin-based C3 Presents, who also puts on Lollapalooza. And here in Austin, they take over Zilker Park, spread it across 8 different stages in the park, and there's everything from rock to country to folk to electronic to hip-hop and soul. So they bring it all here. And it's a really good time. I got to go this weekend. Derek had another more important obligation, which was a beer festival. Right, Derek?
That is true.
And here at last week's album, we like our beer as much as we like our music. So we split ways. But, Derek is going to play you, the fan, the person who didn't get to go to ACL or was maybe going next weekend. And Derek's going to ask me questions about the festival experience. So let's do it.
All right, Kevin. Question 1. By the way, questions are not really numbered here. So, but best new act, who is the best new artist that you saw this weekend?
Sure. That would go to Benjamin Booker, whose album we recently reviewed. As a matter of fact, he is a New Orleans-based singer-songwriter, guitar player. This is his first time at ACL. I think it's his first time on tour in general. He rocked out hard. He also played some more chill tunes where it was just fiddle and mandolin. His drummer played mandolin and drums at the same time, which was pretty rad. And overall, just had a really cool vibe. Got very into his music and got the crowd very into it as well. So, best new act, definitely Benjamin Booker.
Kevin, I just gotta say his debut album, still one of my favorites of the year. Everyone should go check that out. I'm even more intrigued by your description there of the drummer playing drums and mandolin at the same time. I just need to double check because wow.
Yeah, I mean it was his kick drum that he was still playing drums and he was playing mandolin up here, but it was still pretty rad.
That's a percussion and a non-percussion instrument at the same time. All right, so next question, not numbered. Again, just reiterating. Most surprising show.
Question B. Most surprising.
I'm still surprised at that Benjamin Booker description, so I'm just still getting over that. If there's anything more surprising, pray tell.
Okay, well, I don't know what you mean by surprising, but for me, this was surprising as a show because I didn't really know what to go see at this point. I didn't have anything I was dead set on, and ended up getting to go see Trombone Shorty in Orleans Avenue. He is a trombone player, if you couldn't tell. Also plays trumpet. Overall, just this awesome mix of like funk and jazz and R&B and rock. He covered Green Day's Brain Stew, which was amazing. His baritone sax player was awesome. He even brought up members of the Texas Longhorn horn section, and they played Eyes of Texas. It happened to be game day, which made it even cooler. And everyone partied balls. It was a ton of fun.
Kevin, I'm assuming that was before the game. Right, because, I didn't look at scoreboard, but I don't know if there was a lot of partying afterwards.
Yeah, you know me, Derek. I couldn't tell you if it was before or after, but I'm pretty sure it was before, or the band members would have had to have been at the game. It was like 2 in the afternoon. You tell me.
Kevin is only certain that a sporting event occurred, and it wasn't at Zilker Park.
That's as deep as my sports knowledge gets. But back to music.
Best stage. What did you think?
Ooh, best stage. That's a good one. I'm going to go with Austin Ventures. It was kind of one of the medium, I guess, size stage, but they had a great mix of up-and-comers. They had Roddy Walston in The Business. We're big fans of them here at last week's album. They had Benjamin Booker. They had Lucius, who we also are big fans of. Jenny Lewis, and Turnpike Troubadours, one of the big country acts that played this year. Plus, they're right next to the food stands and the craft beer tent, which is never a bad thing, especially at a festival.
Okay, Kevin, this is a great segue. Most ridiculous most ridiculously overpriced drink you saw this weekend?
Ooh, ridiculously overpriced drink. The prices weren't really too bad. I would say, like, I don't know, the $4 and $5 coffee seemed a little bit weird to me.
Well, hey, did they have a Starbucks out there or what?
No, they had these like canned local Austin coffee for sale, which I don't know. It was the same price as a beer. It was the same price as, well, not a water, but it seemed a little steep for coffee in a can. That's just me.
Kevin, uppers and downers to each their own, if you will. All right, most difficult show decision. I know a lot of times at ACL they play a lot of great acts at the same time. For you, what was the most difficult decision you had to make? Who did you go with, and why?
There were a couple decisions I had to make, but the hardest one was probably J. Roddy Walston and the Business versus St. Vincent. I wanted to see both of them a ton. I've seen J. Roddy a lot. I still went with J. Roddy.
Yeah, that's my boy!
I'm sorry, St. Vincent. It just happened to be at that time of day I was more in the mood to like rock out hard. But I did hear and read that St. Vincent put on a great show, so definitely recommend her as well. But game time had to go with J. Roddy.
Damn, that's a tough toss-up, dude. Good decision. I approve, not that that means anything at all. All right. I think we're going to call this last question. Once again, not numbered. Best overall show.
Best overall show for me was hands down Pearl Jam. They were the Sunday night headliner, the last band to play, and in my opinion, the first band that just brought it. First song in, rocked out, rocked for the next 2 hours straight, played a 30-minute encore. I mean, they were the first band that came up and was like, we're going to play our hearts and souls off, and we don't care who knows about it. A lot of other bands, I don't know, felt like they were like building up to a show or going through lulls. Pearl Jam just went for it from the start and just nailed it. They even covered Imagine by John Lennon. They covered, of course, they closed with Neil Young's Keep on Rockin' in the Free World, as they've been known to do. And Eddie Vedder even had some great wine-infused stage banter, which was kind of fun too. So definitely Pearl Jam. Gotta say.
Eddie Vedder, wine banner. I mean, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it was pretty good. He gave a shout-out to the police chief because he's a big fan of Pearl Jam. He encouraged people to go vote. He even made a joke about someone's giant pole that was attached to their flag. So it was highbrow, it was lowbrow, it was in between.
Know your audience, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. He definitely did. All right. Any more questions, Derek? Any curveballs? Is that it?
Most underwhelming show. All right. So earlier we talked about most surprising show. What's the most underwhelming? Like, where were you? Like when you're like, damn it, I wish I was at any other stage, but right here, right now. I hope you didn't even find yourself in any of those situations, by the way. But I gotta ask.
For the most part, there was another tough decision where I was deciding between Tune Yards and Polisa, and to be honest, I saw Tune Yards and I wish I'd gone to Polisa. I hate to say that. I like Tune Yards. Love it.
I can see that toss-up. I can see that going either way, frankly. Yeah. Okay. That's understandable. Okay, here we go. Longest distance traveled between two shows.
I mean, foot-wise or like time-wise? What do you want?
Foot-wise.
Foot-wise. I'm really good at distance. But it's the two farthest stages. There was like the Honda stage and the Samsung stage, and they were like the big marquee stages on either side.
What were the acts?
Going between there. There was like Eminem. The first night there was Eminem headlining versus Skrillex. There were a lot more people at Eminem, probably like 2 or 3 times. I was kind of surprised. I figured all the kids would be at Skrillex, but everybody was at Eminem, so that was cool. And then during another EDM set, there was like EDM over here, Turnpike Troubadours is playing country in the middle, and that's where I was, and it was awesome.
Kevin, that reminds me of like Sesame Street, like one of these things does not belong with the others.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, but we had a grand old time at Turnpike. It was a good show.
I can't imagine what that must have been like when all those shows ended and there's like all the EDM crowds and the Turnpike Troubadour crowd there. Was that at the end?
I mean, it's ACL. Everybody's cool with everybody. That's what's kind of... Even the people that were clearly going to an EDM show would, like, two-step and dance across as they were crossing Turnpike. It's kind of fun. So...
Okay, so biggest takeaway from weekend one and possibly recommendations to anyone going to weekend two.
So I would definitely go see Outkast. They were great. I would definitely go see Trombone Shorty. He was amazing. I would go see the Avett Brothers. They were really good. I would go see Spoon. They were awesome. And Turnpike Troubadour was really good too. So those would be my recos. And I can give you one other really good tip. Wear sunscreen or this will happen to you.
I'm going to shake my head, dude. Come on. Rookie mistake!
I know.
Come on!
But,
you learned that a long time ago, dude.
Yeah, I just got too into it. But, yeah, I hope you guys can make it to ACL Weekend 2, or at least see all these other bands at some other venue in the future. But there you have it, last week's album, ACL 2014 Recap. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to us here on YouTube, and check back for album reviews every week. There you go. I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek. Make time for sunscreen.
Cheers, guys. We'll see you next week.